When it comes to video game countdowns, the most common topic seems to be boss battles, and I must agree that they are possibly the best aspect of video games. They can be fun, epic, atmospheric, or full of emotion. So which ones are my favorite? Well, to answer that question, I'm here to count down my top 10 favorite boss battles ever. Of course, this may not be my most original countdown, since I will talk about some bosses everybody already talked about, and other bosses you probably never heard of before. Standard rules apply, only one boss per franchise, only games I had played, and no final bosses. You already know why. Oh, and there are spoilers here, so don't say I didn't warn you. Let's begin this list with a boss from an amazing series, sub-series. Yoshi's Island is incredible. These games are colorful, fun and unique. However, it's famous for having some awful bosses like Cloud and Candy. But having some stupid bosses doesn't mean everyone is stupid. In fact, some battles in the original game are simply spectacular. I was planning to have Rayful the Raven on here, but then I realized there was a fight that I liked it just a bit more. Oh yeah, the number 10 spot is for Hookbill Koopa. Why? Well, it's hard to explain since this boss may seem stupid at first glance. I mean, it's just a giant turtle, but when you play it, you realize there is more to it. Hookbill Koopa will stand on 2 of its feet and try to attack you with a body slam, so you will have to time your attacks correctly and shoot X at his head when he's running towards you. When you hit him enough times, he will fall on his back, and that's when you must ground pound him, rinse and repeat until he is defeated. While the fight against Hookbill Koopa may not be as atmospheric as Rayful the Raven's battle, it's definitely one of the funniest bosses I had ever faced, and it truly deserves this spot on my list. Do you want a boss fight with originality? Well, here you have it. It's the computer virus from Kirby Superstar and Superstar Ultra. From the beginning, you can already tell why I love this battle. This boss is based off Japanese RPG. Seriously, Kirby and the enemy can only attack in a weird turn-based system, like classic role-playing games. On every turn, you either attack, defend yourself, or change your ability. That's some of the best ideas for a boss fight I have ever heard. Of course, you fight 3 different opponents in this fight, a wizard, a dark knight and a dragon, all of them based on enemies from old Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy or Dragon's Quest, and I think that's an excellent mini tribute to some of the most symbolic franchise of video game history. So yeah, the computer virus is on this list because it's unique and original, with an interesting fighting system. Who would think that a video game series like Kirby could make bosses this epic? They tried to sacrifice a little girl to Orochi. They faded a whole village into darkness for one entire day. They ruined Oki's life. And they killed Shiranui, a miscast incarnation. Of course, I'm talking about the demon twins Lechku and Nechku, and they are about to go down. So at the number 8 spot we have these 2 demon statues from Okami. Like I just said before, they did tons of bad things to a lot of different people without showing themselves. So there was a lot of build-up to this fight, and the battle itself did not disappoint. The 2 mechanic owls will try to defeat you with different attacks from each one. All of these attacks can be deflected in different and entertaining ways, like using lightning or fire to harm the demons. After defending yourself a couple of times, the owls will be vulnerable to attacks. That's when you will have to fire Oki like an arrow. After that, they will fall into the ground and now it's your turn to attack, attack and attack. I like the battle against Lechku and Nechku because it's unpredictable, original, and just really fun to play. Oh, and let's not forget you're finally able to get your revenge on them. Ha 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 ha! Please remember I've never owned a GameCube or a Wii, so I can only put a boss from the N64 Zelda games. Having said that, Phantom Ganon from the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time was a fantastic boss, and he has a badass design. After tricking you into thinking he's the real Ganondorf, he enters in one of these paintings that are on the room. An illusion of him enters too, so now you must be very careful and shoot the real monster. This phase is really challenging if you are not good enough, just like me. After that, he will leap his horse and start a game of volley, a classic mechanic from the Zelda series. Yeah, maybe this phase can get repetitive, but it's fun and satisfying as hell. In conclusion, Phantom Ganon is at number 7 because it has an original design, a very creative way to defeat him, and a lot of challenge and fun. One thing I wanted to say before moving on is that a lot of people say Phantom Ganon is overrated. I call bullshit on that. Yeah, maybe back in the day when Ocarina of Time came out he was loved by everyone, but with new games and new bosses like the Helmarok King or Star-Lord, he's fading into obscurity, and that's a shame, because this is a damn great boss fight. With a franchise like God of War, most bosses actually play like levels. I am saying that you meet a boss different times through the same area and you will have to attack it a few times, until you finally finish it in a final showdown. So the Hydra goes here, right? Fuck no! I already said that I like being more original. So here we have the Colossus of Rhodes from God of War 2. This is an amazing battle and is the first boss in the game. Like I said before, you will meet him a couple of times and you will have to beat the crap out of him, with quick time events or throwing yourself like an arrow from a giant bow. Battling a giant statue is simply epic, especially with the smooth combat system of this series. Ultimately, Zeus will try to help Kratos by giving him the powerful Sword of Olympus. Once you reach it and start destroying the Colossus, you will notice something weird. The sword is draining your god power, but it's Kratos' last hope if he wants to be victorious, so he grabs the sword and goes inside the statue, where he has to destroy all the weak points that are there. And this is a great moment, since the game teaches you the new controls and mechanics right there. Of course, after the Colossus is dead, Zeus doesn't give you back your power and betrays you. So yeah, this battle is also very symbolic for the rest of the series. In conclusion, the Colossus of Rhodes is epic, fun and symbolic, an excellent way to begin an excellent game. Oh, and let's not forget, you can play everyone's favorite minigame in the middle of this fight. Oh yeah. The Crash Bandicoot series are a personal favorite, and it has some amazing bosses. I made an entire countdown on this topic, so you should go and watch it. Nah, I'm kidding, because I'm not going to include any of the battles from that list on here. Why? Well, remember that it has a one boss per game rule, and the number 1 spot is the final boss from Twinsanity, but I am not allowing final bosses in here. So my favorite regular boss from the Crash series is Dingodile. Oh yeah, you know I love this pyromaniac mutant. The battle takes place in a hot boiler room, very appropriate for a guy who loves fire. He will attack with his flamethrower, and you will have to avoid the flames by jumping, crouching, or just running around. Don't let the looks fool you, because this is a very challenging battle. I tried it a lot of times until I finally defeated him. Also, this fight has a very intense atmosphere, with the fire over the place and the creepy music in the background. Ugh. So yeah, my second favorite boss in the Crash Bandicoot series is Dingodile from Twinsanity. He's such an awesome character and his battle is simply awesome. Oh, and the introduction to his fight is hilarious.
Cozy, ain't it? Rumour is you two chumps have got your mitts in some treasure. And I want a piece of that pie.
I have no idea what you just said.
You should know by now that my favorite video game franchise of all time is Pokémon. As a hardcore Pokémon fan, I always had a lot of fun with this group of pocket monsters, and with a big collection of experienced trainers, it's really hard to choose between all of them, and I have a lot of good battles in mind for this spot. Red in Heartgold and Soulsilver, Cyrus in Diamond and Pearl, or the epic showdown against Ghetsis in Black and White too. At the end, although it's an original choice, I just couldn't forgive myself if I didn't put the final battle against N in the original Black and White. We all know the role. N is the king of Team Plasma, and he wanted to combine people that using Pokémon for fighting is wrong. At the end, it was all an evil plan from his father, Ghetsis, who wanted to keep all the Pokémon in the world. N befriended one of the legendary Pokémon of Unova, and now you will have to defeat him with your own legendary. That's right, this is an amazing legendary versus legendary match. And this first part of the battle may be a little bit challenging, but even when this giant beast is defeated, the rest of his team is also very fun to defeat, especially his Zoroark, who can trick you into thinking he's another Pokémon. The battle against N is so high on this list because he's a really likable character, his team is very interesting, and you fight him in an epic legendary match! Fuck yeah, N, you're an amazing guy. Kingdom Hearts 2 improved a lot of things from the first installment, and one of them is the combat system. Yeah, maybe it was more strategic in Kingdom Hearts 1, but now boss battles were more interesting and fun to play, especially the battles against the Organization 13. As frustrating as some of them may be, you can't deny how epic they are, like Demix or Sigmar. Originally, I was going to put the battle against Axel on here. Trust me, I really love that fight, but there is a boss who I like just a bit more. Soldin. Oh god, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I mean, when I originally played through Kingdom Hearts 2, I hated Soldin because of how cheap he was. But when I faced him a second time, I realized this is an amazing fight. First of all, Soldin is pretty badass. He wields 6 lances and controls the power of wind, something that may complicate the fight for you, especially when he creates a dragon hydra with his weapons. So how do you defeat him? Well, Soldin is one of the few bosses who did reaction commands right. When you avoid his attacks, if you press triangle, you will learn a move called Jump. In a similar fashion to Final Fantasy's Dragoon, Sora will jump over Soldin and land on him, dealing a lot of damage. Overall, Soldin was innovative for the game, badass, and just very fun to defeat. I hope you rest in peace, my man. Shadow of the Colossus was a game centered around epic boss battles, and there are tons to choose from. One good example is Phalanx. Sadly, he's not my favorite Colossus because it's everyone's choice. I want to be more original. So if Phalanx is not on the list, which Colossus is? Well, I made an entire top 16 on this game! Go watch it and don't return until you are finished! So, are you done? Thank you, number 2. Really, there isn't much I can say about Avion that I have not said before, so I will repeat myself. To ride on him, you will have to fire an arrow and wait until he is near you, then you can jump on him. Once you're on his back, you will have to stab the weak points on the wings and the tip of his tail. This is one of those bosses, you know, not too easy, not too hard, and just tons of fun to play. And the rest of him is just too epic. The music, the atmosphere, the adrenaline. Ah! I love Avion. Sorry if this entry is a little bit short, but I already talked a lot about him. Well, this countdown is finally ending, but before that, let's make the classic recap. Number 10, Hookbill Koopa. Number 9, the computer virus. Number 8, Lechku and Nechku. Number 7, Phantom Ganon. Number 6, the Colossus of Rhodes. Number 5, Dingodile. Number 4, N. Number 3, Saldin. And number 2, Avion. Snake's mission in Metal Gear Solid 3 is to take down the nuclear tank known as the Shagohod. Oh, and trust me, this is no ordinary mission, with tons of different and weird enemies who will try to stop him. One of them being Colonel Volgin, the psychotic villain of the game. After apparently killing Volgin and blowing up the Shagohod, Snake reunites with Eva and everything is saved, right? Ho fuck no! Volgin survives and starts chasing on them with the Shagohod, leading to my favorite boss battle ever! The first part of the fight is a chasing level, in which Eva will help you escape the giant tank with her motorcycle. You will have to use your skills to shoot all the soldiers who want to stop you. This part is full of adrenaline and you will have to be very careful or the minions will finish you. After the cutscene in which Snake saves Ocelot, the chase will continue in a long route where you will have to kill all the minions on motorcycles, until the Shagohod itself is right behind you. Once you manage to escape from it, you will have to follow Eva's indications and blow up a bridge with your sniping abilities. But again, this is not over, my friend. Volgin successfully managed to save the half of the nuclear weapon. Now, after Eva and Snake kiss, they prepare themselves for this final showdown. As she runs around the motorcycle, Snake shoots his missile launcher towards the Shagohod's tire in order to stun it so he can shoot the driver's cabin and damage Volgin. After a couple of hits, Volgin will use his electric powers to come out the cabin. Eva will distract him by running around the machine, while Snake tries to destroy it with his armory. After a few sniper bullets to the head, it's finally over for Volgin and the Shagohod, who will end up killing himself at the tank with his own electricity. Oh man, I sure love this battle. It has everything I like in a boss fight. Let's check them out, shall we? Interesting backstory. Epic and amazing gameplay. It's full of emotion and character development. And it's just very fun to take it down.
Of course!
Because all of this, the Shagohod from Metal Gear Solid 3 is by far my favorite boss battle ever. I'm a Obsidious fan and thanks for the 200 subscribers. See you guys next time.